Hey guys, it's me, your boy, Remcreate, with a very special guest. This is episode 5 of Creative to Creative. We have Landonardo.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, anytime, man. So, it's one of those things where you're a YouTuber. I know you as a cosplayer as well, and it's one of those things where I see you at cosplay conventions, and we always have cool conversations
Right,
whenever.
but how did we meet? I
Mm,
was thinking earlier.
I think it was when you cosplayed as Gladio. I,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
I was like I did a little skit with you and Chris as Gladio and Noctis at like ALA.
Right. Yeah, Anime Los Angeles. Right. Wow, that was a while ago now.
Yeah,
Crazy.
for real. Yeah, and I like legit like that was like the second convention I started doing content, and like
Wow.
the first convention was I did a video skit with Brinny, and
Oh, okay.
that's and then like you were cosplaying with that group, and I was like, oh, this guy's chill.
Right. Right. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
but yeah, no, like so let's get into it, man. Like what was your first convention that you attended ever?
Oh. Probably. I live in Nevada, so it was probably like a convention in Las Vegas, probably when I
Mm-hmm.
was like really young. Um, Gosh, it was probably, I don't even know if this is still a con, but Anime Vegas,
Mm.
I think it was called. And I didn't even cosplay or anything. I just went. I think I just
Yeah.
went for like one day too,
Mm.
right? But I remember, I mean, probably it was probably a big moment for me, seeing as how I'm like really into cosplaying and cons now.
Yeah.
Probably affected me more than I remember. But yeah, probably I think I went with my friends. Um, Gosh, and the thing is that, like, speaking of, you're doing this podcast,
Yeah.
and there are these content creators, whether videographers, photographers. It's probably one of it was probably like a cosplay videographer or like a convention videographer that I saw on YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably like one of those videos, like I remember watching like Accent, like
Yeah, dude.
way back. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was like one of his videos specifically, but I think I remember watching these kind of like con montages
Yeah.
and thinking like, oh wow, that's a thing. That's really cool. And it's probably how I decided to check one of those out. Probably.
Got it. Do you know what year that was?
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe like I think like 2009,
2009.
2008.
Yeah.
I think it was when I was just entering high school, I think,
Got it.
or maybe like around then.
Yeah. Not I feel that cuz like I feel like so like I graduated high school around 2008. So like I felt like that those years 2008 to 2012 like they were like the transition to like anime being cool. Like
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah,
because I remember like it was weird for me to like anime because like I was a jock and like
yeah, yeah.
everyone's like, you like anime? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's cool. Like I play football and I'm like, you guys should watch this anime called I Shield 21, dog. It's chill.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about a little Japanese kid that jukes all these cats.
Yeah. I think so because that's around the time I started to get really into it as well, and I think anime becoming more popular
Mm,
was just probably led to like its exposure to myself, right?
yeah,
Like if it didn't start to get like cool and mainstream, I probably maybe would have never really um, discovered, because I watched stuff on like Adult Swim, right,
yeah,
Cartoon Network stuff, but I never really talked about the first exposure to like the community. Like there's this community. It's like a
yeah.
thing. Like it goes beyond just you watching it in your room as a kid. You can actually be more active in it.
Mm.
Uh, like me realizing that was a thing probably had to do a lot with it becoming more cool and people making more content and stuff. So.
Most definitely. Like so, like what was like the first convention you cosplayed at? You actually made your costume and like went.
It probably at the same convention, probably like a later year,
Okay.
probably. At this point, I wasn't, yeah, I was young, first of all, but
Yeah.
just wasn't traveling out of state, right? So
Mm-hmm.
probably Anime Vegas. I don't know if it was like the next year, or the year after that,
Mm.
but yeah, maybe like 2009 or 2010. I think I cosplayed as Kamen Rider.
Oh,
I think
yo.
it was like a cardboard it's just like cardboard duct tape, uh, maybe some paint, and I think it was Common Rider at
Dude,
Anime Vegas.
that's
Yeah.
that's what's up. So like, let's talk about that because like when it comes to your influences with anime, like what were some series that you were into like that like not me and people would know, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, probably. I mean, the big one is like Kamen Rider. Like, I
Mm.
love Kamen Rider, and yeah, I mean, it's the thing that got me into cosplaying, and just it's just like so cool. Other than that, I mean, like in terms of anime, I'm a, I'm a sucker for like just a classic shonen action stuff.
Oh,
I just like Kamen Rider is very cheesy, right? It's very cheesy. It's
yeah.
very it and you watch it, it's very clearly marketed towards kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's clearly like they're trying to sell the toys and stuff. I just it's just if something cool happens, I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. My tastes aren't really complicated when it comes to anime. I just if it's cool, I like it,
Yeah,
man.
I feel that. I feel that completely. Like, what are some series that you've been watching lately? Like,
Oh,
just
well, it goes totally against what I just said, but I just started watching Blend S, which is
my
uh,
boy.
yeah, I just started watching that. Before that, I a lot of my honestly, I hate to admit it, but a lot of my anime consumption nowadays is like on Netflix because
Mm,
I don't know if it's just because I'm lazy now, I'm older, but I just because before I would spend hours just at my computer just watching an entire series, but now
yeah,
it's just I do my work during the days, I lay down at the end of the days, and I'm just like, okay, what can I even watch?
exactly right.
So I think people used to dunk on like anime on Netflix, like what is that? But I feel it's made it super accessible for a lot of people.
Most definitely. Like, I like the idea that they say like they automatically skip the intro.
Right.
And I'm like I'm with that. Thank you, Netflix. You.
Yeah. So I probably Doro Hedoro on Netflix. Right.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that. Like everyone's like,
For example, like I was like, oh, I gotta watch this, but I'm just lazy, I put it off.
yeah,
One day it's like, oh, hey, it's on Netflix. Oh, okay, I'll watch this then. And
yeah.
then now I've watched it.
That's a
Um,
yeah.
I caught up with Seven Deadly Sins, the
Mm-hmm.
manga. It's finished, but I'm like very near the end.
Mm,
So that's like one of my favorite series, Seven Deadly Sins.
that's what's up.
Um, yeah, other than that, just I don't think I haven't really been. It sucks to say, but I think with no cons, no conventions, no cosplaying and stuff,
Yeah.
I think just not my interest, but I'm just like watching less. You know,
Yeah, yeah, and I feel you.
there's just like kind of I don't know what the word is like, not festivity, but when there's cons and stuff, I'm like, oh, well, let me check that out, or like, what's this and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I'm chilling with Blend S. Oh, I'm excited for there's a second season of Kobayashi Dragon Maid.
Oh shit.
So I don't know exactly when that's coming out, but that keeping an eye out for that one for sure.
see, like that's a thing. Like I always say this, but it's like the thing is like when people suggest me anime, it goes to the back burner. But when I discover an anime, like I stick with that. You know, like
hmm
yeah,
hmm
it's like my little gem that I like keeping. And if other people like that gem, I'm like, oh hell yeah,
Yeah,
you're my people. You know. But like
yeah.
Kobayashi Dragon Maid should be on my thing of things I've watched, but I just haven't because like
Um,
come to yeah 2018 like it was like Dragon Maid season, and it was like yeah
right.
everyone was Toru, and I
Yeah.
and I was like I should watch this anime, but it's just been on the back burner, you know.
Yeah, I guess I said I'm a big into like action. There's like two sides to me. It's like action, shonens, stuff like Hunter x Hunter,
Yeah,
Seven Deadly Sins, right, Kamen Rider. But I guess my other half is like Kobayashi Dragon Maid, like Blend S. What's that? What's that anime with? She has an orange hamster hat. She's the little sister. God, what
oh
is that called? Um,
Umaru-chan.
yeah, Umaru,
Yeah.
Umaru. Yeah, yeah. I very much like. I don't know what you call them. Are they like considered slice of life? But like these feel good,
Mm,
bubbly, cutesy stuff. To balance out. I think I really like.
that's awesome. So it's one of those things where like when I met you, I met you as a cosplayer, but then I started to see that like oh this dude has a YouTube channel, and
Right.
yeah,
Right.
but like it's one of those things where like I saw the content and I'm all like, this is dope. Like it's just a bunch of friends just having fun, you know, and like
Right.
I consume the hell out of that, you know. But like, it's one of those things where like you have your cast, yeah,
Mhm.
you have Kane, you have Zach, you have Blake, you have like the different people that you bring on. Like, how did you meet them?
Uh, yeah. So when we were doing Lethal, so it's myself, Kane, Zach, Blake, and most recently Franco. So
Mm.
Franco I met at Anime Los Angeles actually
Oh,
at a
really?
con. Yeah,
Oh, dope.
and gosh, I don't even know, I don't even remember the circumstance we met, but we just like met randomly, and I just like really vibed with him, and so
Mm.
I just like asked him if he wanted to do stuff. But everyone else, we're all friends from like middle school actually.
Oh, wow.
We just go way back. Yeah, we just go way back, and you know, we just we were we were just the people that going back to how we were talking about how like video games and anime, it's safe to say it is cool now.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no more people are like it's becoming cool. It's been cool for a while.
Yeah, for real.
And it's even I feel transcended that. Like it's not even appropriate to say like, oh, it's cool now. It just is a thing,
Yeah.
right? Like um but yeah, back then it's because like, you didn't know many people that played games,
Yeah.
right? Or you didn't really know people that were really into that. So if you were like a young kid and you met another young kid like that, right, back in middle school or whatever, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, now we're friends now.
Exactly.
And so we just stuck through it, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
what. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Like, because it's one of those things where like I had a lot of friends in high school. Like I was like in the honors classes. I was a football player, tennis player, whatnot. But then like the people that I've stuck around and like they're like that are like still like my good friends are like my anime friends.
Right.
That like you know I just they just stick around and it's awesome because I see their progress and how they grow,
Mhm.
and it's one of like when you think of like YouTube content like all right, just out of curiosity, is Franco the guy that does the James Franco impression?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
God damn, the most hilarious fucking video I've ever seen was like fucking James Franco as a fucking serial killer.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I gotta tell this story. So
Go.
I remember the circumstance we met. This is so this is so mean. And it's so I met him, and he looked like James Franco, right? I was
Yeah,
like, bro, you look like James, and of course he gets it all the time.
yeah.
We just talked about it, and he was actually really into Overwatch at
Mm,
that time,
yeah.
and I think it's hard to remember exactly, but I think around that time that's when my Overwatch videos were kind of making the rounds. I don't know if he brought it up or I brought it up, but I think that's how I'm like, oh, we should make a video sometime,
Mm,
or something like that. But so how that video came to be was that was the first video I made with him,
yeah,
and so at the time I was going to UCLA,
yeah,
Los Angeles, and at the time James Franco was teaching a class at UCLA, acting.
yeah.
It's like an acting class, and it's like a known thing. Like they like to say, oh, like, if you go to UCLA, James Franco went to UCLA and stuff. And so my mom knows that James Franco went to UCLA and whatever. And so I was like, I'm gonna pull a prank on my mom and say, like, look who I met on campus. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, it's James Franco. I met him and took a picture and everything. And she's like, oh my God, no way. Okay, so that was at a certain point in time, and that conversation with my mom, I sent a picture. So that's sitting and brewing. Some time passes, and now I'm like, okay, we're gonna make that video you're mentioning, but let's pull a prank on my mom. I want you to, you're gonna wear a suit, and we concocted this whole we drew the strings, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, like I have a YouTube channel. It's like pseudo entertainment. UCLA, James Franco's teaching a class. He's hip to it. You can kind of see him, doing some kind of weird. So I forget the exact excuse, but we're like, it's like, oh look, it's James Franco is gonna help me with this. I don't know if I said it was like some kind of student program or something, but I pranked my mom and said, like, look, James Franco's here now. and she actually like I can't believe we didn't record it or made it like content.
Yeah.
Maybe because I thought she just wouldn't believe it, but it was like funny, funniest thing ever. I wish I did, but I mean, it sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
like you can kind of see how, like yes, he's because he's kind of like an eccentric guy,
Yeah.
right? He teaches a class at school, but yeah, that's just the backstory between Franco and that James Franco video we made with him and
Yeah.
how he became part of the channel.
That James Franco video is fucking like out of all the videos that you've made, that one just had me
I
double
know.
over in laughter.
There's the hidden gems for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely one of them.
Yeah. That one.
Well,
That
it's a
one. Yeah.
killing stalk. What's that one web manga that was popular at the
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. Killing stalking.
Killing stalking. So it's like an even weirder. It's like a James Franco video that's a reference to killing stalking. Like it's just such a like crazy
Fever
reference.
dream.
Yeah,
Jesus
he's
Christ.
a really cool guy.
No, yeah, he definitely seems cool because like there's that, and then like whenever Zach pulls out Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
fucking Christ.
Yeah, I don't know where that even. That became one of the probably the most popular like shtick on our channel.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that came from, man. I can't even tell you. Like I was just like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if, how they have the Ito Tensei in Naruto where they bring people back to life? But what if they brought other people that weren't ninjas back to life? Yeah, this sounds like a funny concept. It's like, who? I don't know. Wouldn't it be funny if it was like, oh, it's because there's like a loose connection I made in my head with like presidents and like Hokages. It's like a
Oh.
Hokage is like a president, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
He brought back fucking Abraham Lincoln.
I that's most ideas on the channel. Kind of come from that where I'm watching something and I'm like, there's like two trains of thought. Like, oh, that's stupid. Do other people realize how stupid this, whether it's like a concept or like a shtick or something,
Yeah.
or like, like that doesn't really quite make sense, right? Whether it's like actually, I think a precursor to the channel was actually I used to do like web comics, like parody web comics,
Yeah.
on Tumblr actually.
Oh really?
It was like this is way before the YouTube channel, and it was actually my first exposure to getting like a lot of like views or traffic. Like
Yeah.
I remember it was getting like a lot of notes, right? And it was my first time like, oh wow, content I'm making is getting seen by a lot of people.
Yeah.
For example, like I remember watching Kill la Kill,
Yeah.
and I mean you're familiar with Kill la Kill, right?
Yeah.
So like there are scenes where Satsuki's like on the tower, and it's like Kill la Kill's very exaggerated, and it's like it zooms all the way up, and she's screaming like Yuko Matoe, and Yuko's like screaming back. But I was like, a lot of my ideas are kind of like this, where I'm like, wait a minute, like she's so far away, how could she even hear her talking way up there, right? So it is probably like a comic like that. So a lot of our skits and stuff are kind of parodies on like little details like that. So Abraham Lincoln going like bringing it back like in Naruto. It's like, wait, you could just like resurrect people? Like the implications of that are like absolutely insane. Like it's crazy. So what would it actually be like if you had this jutsu that can reanimate people? And just like all our other videos and stuff are just kind of like, isn't that stupid? Like why aren't people pointing out how stupid that is, and then we make it into like a joke?
And it works because like people tune in and they watch the content, and legitimately speaking, like how like you spoke on it a little bit where like you see something outrageous and you're like, wait, logically that doesn't make sense. Let's explore that idea. Like what else goes into like your comedy writing and like how you see sticks and whatnot?
Yeah, so there's I guess the main point in a video. I mean, not every single one of my videos follow this. Sometimes you just wanna get something out there that's kind of like one joke or something.
Yeah.
But most of the times there's always there's like the joke, but then there's like the joke that's like underneath.
Yeah.
Right. So the joke might be, oh look at they're wearing funny costumes or they're slapping each other around, but there's always like something that ties it back together.
Mm.
That it's kind of like the meta joke. So let me think of an example like this. So uh, I guess an example would be, um, gosh, I we did like an Overwatch video,
Yeah.
and I forget the details, but on the surface, it's like an Overwatch joke, but at the very end, um, we we make a reference to like Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
So that's an example of like it's like Overwatch is the joke, but the real joke is that Overwatch is just a copy of
Yeah.
Team
The
Fortress
Fortress.
2, right? So
Yeah.
there's always like a referential kind of thing that kind of brings it around. So I try. Again, I'm sure you can find plenty of examples
Yeah.
where it's not like that. It's just like a slapstick thing, but um, because I try not there's a balance between not taking yourself too seriously,
Yeah.
but also like trying to do the best you can. So I try to keep the videos, it can appeal to a wide audience, but
Mm.
also like if you really like sit there and you really pay attention, you can see like, oh, okay, that I see what they did there. It's kind of like there's something else to appreciate.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Definitely the meta humor
mm,
that you bring to the table is actually pretty fun. Because like, there's one video that blew up, and like, you got like a nice big Twitch streamer to react to it. Was your like when class is
right,
over, teachers are
right.
streaming? That was brilliant, dude.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was a crazy one. You just never know. You just never know. Okay, so like actually I was filming that video and I almost just like gave up
Really?
midway. 'Cause it's just not even like it's not is this even like worth is this even funny? It's hard to tell a lot of times. You work on something so long and you're staring at the footage for so long, you're like you kind of lose it. You're like, I've been working on it and staring at this for so long, I can't tell if it's funny anymore,
Yeah.
right? And so that one it's funny because it went so viral on like Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah.
But I almost didn't make that video, man.
Really?
But yeah, I mean that one, like so on the surface, it's like the joke is, oh look at these. It's like if the streamer was a teacher,
Yeah.
but then the meta joke are like tiny little references to the other. Like, I don't know if that's really a meta joke, but there's always something to see. Like if you look a little closer, it's like the references to the other streamers and
Yeah.
stuff.
Like I like the point the part where you're like, if you want to see the rest of this answer, you gotta donate to my Patreon
Right?
or my
Yeah,
OnlyFans. Yeah.
that's an example of like Zoom, right? Came
Yeah.
out and teachers were streaming. I mean, that's an example of I was like, that's kind of stupid. That's kind of like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like a teacher has to stream. Like, what if it was like that? Like,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah. And then Pokemon watched that video. Hilarious. Just
Oh,
hilarious. And I make a reference to Pokemon too. I
exactly.
think, and I didn't even remember I did that. So I'm actually glad. I don't. I can't remember if I was gonna make, but if I was gonna make like a joke, but I didn't. So I'm glad like there was no like dab at Pokemon
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
But
It was like like you reference her, but you reference her in like a respectful way rather than like a
yeah,
mocking way. You know?
yeah. But there's definitely some streamers that were not referenced in like a respectful way.
Yeah. It was
So
like a
I wonder, I wonder who it reached. You gotta wonder like, 'cause, Pokemon watched that video and it got like millions of views, and I would see sometimes like this video is like I can see on Twitter like liked by whatever. I'm like, oh my god, that's like a big name,
yeah.
right? Or something. So like I make fun of Ninja. I was like, I wonder if Ninja saw this. I wonder if he's like, man, F this dude.
Yeah.
Who's this dude? You know,
No,
I
cause,
can't help but imagine.
no, 'cause, like a lot of the ones that were mocking were like widespread and like they're like these are tropes in streaming that people do.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Like I felt like it wasn't like aimed at people. Well, like, but Ninja made it popular, but everyone like took his model and like did bastard
yeah,
versions of
yeah.
Ninja's model. You know?
It's funny. It's like those. I mean, I, it's. I don't know if it's right to call it like my attention to detail, but like those tiny little references, I wasn't even like in my head the joke was the fact that it's like a teacher and
Yeah.
I'm acting like a streamer. Like those little things were just like, oh, it'd be cool if I just made a tiny reference. I wasn't like, oh, they're gonna love this reference to
Mm.
like, yeah. And that's the part that people ended up really like, oh my god, like that I saw that Juicy Ninja, the reference or whatever it is, like, and it's like it's like I said earlier, you never know what people are gonna
Like,
why people are gonna like something. I just thought like it's just like a fun little, just a little side thing.
yeah.
Who knows how many people would even pay attention to it, but people really liked it.
Because it's one of those things where like the content you've put out, like a lot of people have interacted with it, have took different like takes on your content
Mm,
when it's like a bunch of friends having fun, like, you know.
yeah,
And like,
yeah.
what, like, if you want to speak on it, like, what were some comments that you saw that were like, wow, like I didn't even know that was like something that we were going for, but they took it that way.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just weird what people decide to tune like hone in on. Um, and in the worst cases, they sometimes just like completely miss the point of the video,
Yeah,
right? I mean, perfect example is just like uh, in the Overwatch video, we use like these pool noodles
yeah,
for like, um, uh, gosh, Hanzo's like dragons,
yeah.
and it's just like they're just like so obsessed with these pool noodles. Like, oh my gosh, if you just want to see me swing on some pool noodles, I would have done that. Like, why do you even make the rest of the video? You know?
Yeah.
Or I'm just looking at my channel, just scrolling, seeing what yeah, I guess the biggest thing was like our channel was kind of known for like this like low budget essence,
Yeah.
right? And I mean it was low budget, but it was never like, oh, they're gonna love how low budget this is,
Yeah.
right? It was just like, let me just try to convey the fact that this character is this character,
Yeah.
like like whether it's Hanzo or Naruto, whatever. Like, I can't just not wear any kind of costume,
Yeah.
but we can't spend the money for like an actual costume. I guess that's the biggest thing where I thought that the videos would be received for like the content, the jokes,
Yeah.
but people really ran with this like low budget, the pool noodles and the duct tape and stuff, which I never really expected.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I guess other than that, I don't know. I guess I guess I bait them in the first place, so it's my own fault with like just really surface level like physical gags.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just always surprising how much the comments will be like, haha, he fell over, lol. Oh my gosh, like did I like do I have a misunderstanding what my audience is? Like, I guess we could just be a slapstick like Three Stooges channel, um,
Yeah.
which I'll be honest, we kind of devolved into. But
So yeah, that's the thing though, because like if whenever like it's funny because I always hear people going like, I'm gonna start my YouTube channel, I'm gonna start my YouTube channel, I'm gonna do this content, blah blah blah. But if I want to give people a prime example of just like, fuck it, just do it. I point to your channel.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's definitely like that's definitely how my channel definitely started. I
yeah.
mean, now like there's kind of nowadays there is a stigma. I don't know if it's like a stigma, but people don't like it if you're trying to like make it. If you're trying to do it,
Yeah.
they don't like that. It's and I'm always very frank with like whether it's my viewers or people who tune into my stream and stuff. It's like I for an example would be like if you get a donation on a stream,
Yeah.
it's like uh I try to be very upfront. It's not like, oh hey, don't feel pressured or anything. It's like, no, I'm legit. I do this for a living. I appreciate the donations. Like, if you want to donate, do it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be like, oh, don't like. I'm a content creator, and that's what I do for a living, and like this is my job,
That's
right?
what's up.
I tackle it with a very, because like classic one is like, why don't you just do it for fun?
Yeah.
It's like I don't do it for fun.
Yeah.
I have other hobbies I do for fun. I cosplay for fun.
Yeah.
I draw for fun. I work out for fun. This is not for fun,
This is.
right?
Yeah.
That being said, when I started, it definitely was like just for fun.
Yeah.
Like, Lethal Soul is the name of a dance group I had
Mm.
with like me, my friend Kevin, and my friend a Zach, a different Zach,
Yeah.
and we were like, we weren't like entering competition. It's just a for fun thing. Like, hey, like we should have like a crew. We're young,
Yeah.
and when me and Kane uh did our first like cosplay masquerade.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, what's our name? And I was like, let's just use Lethal Soul, right?
Yeah.
Because I like that's a name I have with this dance crew. And it's like, okay. And then we started making videos. It's like, okay, well, what do we? What's funny because people are like, I've rebranded the channel
Yeah.
from Lethal Soul to Landonardo. What's funny is the channel used to be Landonardo. It used to be
Oh. Yeah.
but when we started uploading content, we're like, what name should we use? And I was like, how about the name Lethal Soul that we've been using, that I used for my dance group and we used to enter cosplay competitions. And then we just started uploading,
Yeah.
you know, and eventually something takes off and we just keep making stuff. And I don't know, I'm always very careful with this because it's hard to be like, oh yeah, this is what I did and this is how it worked out. When maybe it's just like complete luck.
Mm.
Who knows if I know what I'm talking about, or anybody really. Because like same thing. When I was on the rise, when our channel was on the rise, I listened to like a lot of podcasts, interviews, and stuff. Like, okay, how did people make it? Blah blah. But now that I've grown much larger and
Yeah.
realized how it actually is, I think back, I'm like, bro, I think most of those people were just like talking out their butts.
Yeah. Right.
Say to say because I could be like, yeah, I when Overwatch came out, I knew it was going to be a big deal, and I capitalized on the meat market. But really, like, there could have been 1,000 other dudes who made the same videos I made, but
Yeah.
just unlucky roll of the dice. Who knows?
Yeah.
That being said, it was definitely a for fun thing
Mm.
back then.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, like that. I want to normalize, like amongst creatives, is being proud of what you make and not being shy. Like I I don't I don't like that the artist archetype is meant to be like meager and like doubting their work. You know,
Right,
like
right.
you can be an artist and be proud of your work. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a difference between being proud of your work and being a douchebag. You know, like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Fine line for sure.
exactly.
Um, and I think I definitely earlier on, I definitely held back on it for fear of coming off like that.
Yeah,
But I kind of regret it in a way because, like, thinking back, I do think of times where I'm like, I should have had more respect for myself and been like, hey, no, don't make fun of that, right? Because
mm,
like as a YouTuber, it's always like, oh, YouTuber, haha,
yeah,
right? But I should have been like, hey, you know what? This is an amazing thing I've created with my friends. I should be proud of this, and I wish I
exactly.
owned it more, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. And it's like it's hindsight's 2020. Like
Yeah.
you're now a
Oh,
content yeah you're now you're now a content creator, and it's one of those things where like that transition between from like Lethal Soul to Landonardo, you know,
mhm.
where like I what is it? You're streaming Yakuza now, and like
Yeah.
they're like what are some content that people would look forward to like moving forward with your channel?
Well, the big thing that I want like most of my subscribers to know is that like it's like I still do skits,
Yeah.
right? I just came out with this skit, so people are like, oh, whether they comment or something like, oh, you don't make skits anymore. It's like, bro, I just made a skit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you don't make videos with your friends anymore. I just did, bro.
Mm.
One example was I was streaming with or sorry, before that,
Yeah.
let me answer your question. I throughout my career on YouTube, again, who knows how much of it is a result of luck versus my actual efforts and um, ideas and stuff. I like to think that a lot of my ideas have played a significant role.
Yeah.
Um, so going forward, I it's not necessarily that I want to be known as like a game channel,
Yeah.
right? Just right now I'm streaming and that is the content I'm making, but I just want and it's reflected in the name change. Like Lethal Soul, it's not that I dislike Lethal Soul. It's just I think I have a lot to offer as
Mm.
like an individual creator. I have a
Yeah.
lot of example like people don't know I cosplay.
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know I cosplay on on my channel. I just think that there's a lot that I can offer in terms of content, right? Just in virtue of being cosplayers doesn't mean I deserve views or anything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think I can like with everything I have to offer, whether it's like script writing or editing, cosplay, art, or I think I can offer enjoyable content
Yeah.
as, but the main thing is as me, as Landon,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to show my viewers, and I think I'm doing an okay job so far. Um, but going back, what I was saying is that like, um, people commented on my latest skit like, oh my gosh, like this is what I remember. It's like, bro, it's still me.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same person that made all those videos all the time ago. But rebranding rebranding's tough.
Oh yeah.
Rebranding's tough. And in terms of being a YouTuber, I have a lot of people I can ask for advice. A lot of people that I've met and collabed with, and they've offered me a lot of like advice that I think of to this day.
Yeah.
To them, I just like mentioned it like offhand, but I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. But rebrand. I don't really have a lot of people that have gone through such a dramatic rebrand like I have.
Yeah.
Um, that I'm trying to go through. Um, but again, I think that I mean I could go on and on with like how a group channel. It's not if you're starting off in scratch and you're going to be a group, don't
Yeah.
probably don't do that because there's a lot of channels like I was actually talking about this to my stream
Mhm.
last night.
Yeah.
There's a lot of channels out there that are very similar to us.
Mhm.
In fact, they're just like a different like alternate universe version. They do like the same type of content. They're good. They're funny.
Yeah.
However, the market difference is that um, it's like one dude, and it's like he's the person that always plays the main character in all the skits. He's the person that the channel is named. For example, someone in my chat last night said like, oh, I'm glad I'm watching you streaming. I thought Kane was the creator of the channel,
Oh.
which is completely understandable because in a lot of my videos I pose him as like the main character
Yeah.
because um, I just think it'd be funnier if it was him,
Mhm.
or I suit a different character more. But I look at some of these. There's a lot of channels like this. That dude, he's always the main character
Yeah.
every single time, even if it might be better if someone else is. But it's not a bad thing. You can't blame him because that's his channel, and
Yeah.
and because of that, there's a great. Speaking of like marketing and branding, there's a greater brand recognition and a stronger attachment to that personality.
Yeah.
So, with my channel Lethal Soul, again, like you said earlier, hindsight's 2020. If from the beginning we were just landonardo, everything else being the same, all the content could have been exactly the same.
Yeah.
But if just the minor change was that it was my name from the beginning and I played the main character and it was just my face, dude, I don't know how much more. Again, I'm not saying that what I have is crazy already to have this
Yeah.
many subscribers.
Yeah.
That being said, who knows what direction the channel could have gone if it was like that from the beginning.
Mm.
But I'm recognizing that now, the power of like, and I'm actually already seeing it with just simply the change already,
Mhm.
like whether it's my Discord community or my followers on Twitter, Instagram,
Yeah.
I see such a dramatic increase already,
Yeah.
right? Versus like, yeah, Lethal Soul, millions of views. I think we got 60 million views total
Yeah.
now. Millions of views. It's like, so what? Like, Zach, he's got like 100 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. No one joins the Discord. No one knows who's who. Like, oh, wait, I thought Zach was that other guy. No, that's the guy with the glass. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, it's very tough. And I mean, I can point to a lot of group channels on YouTube that aren't group channels. I mean, like one of my biggest influences was Smosh on YouTube.
Yeah.
Smosh, it's one of the dudes quit like a long time ago.
Yeah.
To do what? If you look, Anthony Padilla,
Yeah.
what is he doing? He's doing a personality-based
Yeah.
channel now.
Yeah.
It's like groups are hard. Groups are hard.
Yeah.
Um,
Like.
I think if there's ways to make it work. Like Good Mythical Morning's a perfect example.
Mhm.
It's just two dudes.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think this rebrand it's tough because with something like this, people it's just like, oh, that's not the right decision. You shouldn't do that. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And
But
really can't say much until it's all over with,
Yeah,
right? So,
exactly.
so just
Like,
doing it.
yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things where like, was it? I wholeheartedly believe that things happen for a reason, and like, was it? It's one of those things where like, for me, um, growing up, like I pursued so many different things, and like, was it? There's moments where I felt like I was wasting my time. You know, like, was it? I was a drummer in an indie band for like 5 years.
Yeah, I see it in
Yeah,
the back there.
yeah, like
Uh-huh.
that little Mapex drum head, but like it's one of those things where drumming is still a big part of me, and like
Hmm.
it's one of those things where like all the things that I pursued up until this point formed formed like me. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't think if like anything what like was different in the back, I wouldn't be the genuine like was it someone that's enthusiastic and a nerd about life in general and like the people around me, you know. So like I feel like was it when it comes to you and like how that situation happened with Lethal Soul and Landonardo, like
Mhm.
it's like hindsight's 2020, but at the same time it's you now and like you're moving forward and you're doing bigger and better things, you know.
Yeah, speaking to that, I mean, a long time ago, our channel was known for doing these anime opening
Yeah,
recreation,
yeah,
right? Side by side, low budget, like parodies. There's a time where, I said, this will not get my channel to where I want it to be.
yeah,
I'm gonna change. And there's a time where people are like, dude, what are you doing? I'm unsubscribing. This is not the choice. And you know what? Like it was
yeah,
because we grew much larger than that with our skits and stuff. But so it's just funny that like people are saying the same thing now. Is they're saying the same thing? It's like, well, I mean, people said the same thing when I changed the channel back then.
yeah.
You know, I
Exactly,
guess now you just gotta do it.
exactly.
You know?
I think the one thing that like is consistent with any artist that I've run into is just like no matter what, like you are yourself, you are your own person, and like the mark of a happy artist is like when they're absolutely genuine with their craft, you know.
Mm.
And like when that transition between Lethal Soul and Leonardo and like the emotions and all that, it was genuine. Like I felt it as a viewer. So it's like one of those things where like it's really cool to like talk and like hear all this mapped out, going like, oh, that's what happened. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm. Yeah, people think like, oh my God, what happened? You guys still friends?
yeah,
Like, yeah, no,
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
like no Game of Thrones esque. Well, what's funny was I think I'll always remember this for the rest of my life. I was doing this was very recent after the whole rebrand. I was streaming with two people from the channel, Kane and Blake.
Yeah,
I'm streaming with them. We were playing Fall Guys. Someone joins the chat. It's like, oh, what? You're not making you just abandoned your friends. I don't know if it was like the word abandoned, but it's definitely like a word that carried like a negative connotation. Like,
yeah,
oh, you just ditched your friends, and I'm like, I'm literally playing with them right now,
yeah,
as of this moment, and then just like no response. So it's almost like, what is it you're really angry about?
exactly.
I don't know if that's what you're saying that, but you're like people again. Zach, a really good friend of mine.
Yeah,
People are like, oh, like no more Zach. I don't like this. Unsubscribed. And I'm thinking like, bro, Zach doesn't even have 100 followers on Twitter or
hmm,
Instagram or nothing. Like you guys like him so much, but where's that love?
yeah,
Is that really what you care about? Or I don't know. I don't know what exactly they're covering up for, or like what feelings they just don't like change or something. But a lot of these
I I
sometimes the viewers I don't think even know why they don't like something or why they even like something.
well, because I feel like a lot of those comments are just to get a rise out of you, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
yeah, it's like, what is it? The zero sum game is more of like, what is it? It's like having somebody like tell Elon Musk that his forehead's weird.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Like, what is it? It's one of those things where like, that's cool. Like
Mhm.
you set that into the ether, but like,
Yeah.
will Elon care? Like, or like, and if he responds, like that's like that's a win for the person that says it, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is definitely trolls, and as a content creator, you learn to just like
oh yeah,
because people, because at this point, bro, some of the most toxic comments I can imagine I've read. So it doesn't even. I'm lucky that I kind of, I think I always had like a thick skin going into it.
Yeah.
It's because I was always like a weird dude,
Mm.
cosplaying in high school. It's like, what the, you're a weirdo. But
Yeah.
um, that being said, like besides the trolls, sometimes I do read the comments that are like, dude, like they wrote like
Oh yeah.
they're just so upset. And I'm like, dude, I'm reading what you're saying, but I don't. There's definitely like, and I feel bad too.
Yeah.
People like really like Lethal Soul,
Yeah.
so that sucks. There's
Okay.
this person
Yeah.
who really did like Lethal Soul, but sometimes I read their comments and I'm like, I think if you gave the channel a chance, you'd find a lot of what you're talking about still here.
Yeah.
You know,
Because like
on
yeah.
the channel. But so that kind of sucks. But it's easy to focus on. You hear this like a lot too. It's easy to focus on the negatives.
Mm.
Um, like I mean, just today I just read a comment today that someone was like, "Hey, I can't tune into your streams because of the time zone difference. I've been here since the very start of the channel. I just want to say like, I really have been enjoying the gaming content." It's like, wow, this person took time out of their day to write this comment. It's hard to remember that like you get lost in the numbers
Yeah.
for sure. And you definitely get jaded in it. It's like I appreciate every single person that has stuck through this rebrand, right?
Yeah.
People that are gonna watch after I kind of change things up, like those are the people who are really interested in my content.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I do catch myself. You gotta shake yourself out of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I would make a video get 1 million views. The next video I did get 1 million views. The next one would get like 700,000 views.
Yeah.
It's just like there's a period where things were just crazy, and it's hard not to get. You gotta shake that. You gotta shake that off. And I think that's my like, I don't know what you call like chip on my shoulder, or like I forget what the term is. Like, there's this kind of like weight that I gotta like. It all it does is impact me negatively for sure. So.
Got it. No, I feel that because it's like for me like as of this stream I have like 85 subscribers, and it's one of those things where like I'm sort of relishing in this moment because it's like I myself like I know how to take things like rationally, but like when the negative comments come in and like that like it hurts, like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I posted like my 10 minutes of stand up I did at like the Hollywood Comedy like back in March on like a stand up comedy Reddit thread, and people were just ripping into me.
Dude, if there's any community more toxic though, dude,
It's Reddit.
because I've never done stand up, but there's a time like the Comedy Store was near where I lived in when I went to UCLA. Bro, those are some toxic group of people, dude. So
Yeah, dude. Like
it's like I don't know, bro.
yeah, the story, like, because the way I approach it is that when it comes to stand-up comedy, like everyone is talking about the Comedy Store. Like the Comedy Store is like the mecca because that's where like Richard Pryor was at, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams. That's where they got their start, But like, what is it? I don't want to go there until I feel like I'm good enough, So like, rather than like be like level 10 and face this level 60 boss.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to these like little comedy clubs around the place, get my material, and then like when I feel like I'm leveled up enough, I'm gonna go and attack. Like there's actually a podcast that gets aired at the Comedy Store called Kill Tony, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're like every comedian that goes on it gets 1 minute. You have 1 minute to kill Tony, like the host.
Interesting. Okay.
And if you make him laugh, then he interviews you.
Okay.
If you don't make him laugh, he'll roast you.
It's a really funny concept.
Yeah, it's a big thing for a lot of comedians in the Hollywood scene, and like everyone's like, you should go on Kill Tony. You should do that. You should do that one bit, and like it'll kill. And I'm like, not yet. I'll go. I will go on Kill Tony, and I will like do those things. But like right now, like with stand-up comedy as it is, it's a lot of Zoom mics, Discord mics, and like there's actually a drive-up mic that I go to. That's actually pretty fun.
Sing.
Yeah. Like the stage is like it's in a Fry's parking lot. It's fucking weird.
Parking lot.
Yeah, it's a Fry's parking lot, but then like you're on stage and there's cars around you, and like there's an FM transmitter. It's like a drive-in movie.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like
What acting, huh?
yeah, it's adapting, and I would say a joke, and then like my little jab at like is that like when people laugh, they start honking their horns, like, and like
That's funny.
the little jab I have on stage is like I don't know if I'm telling jokes or if I'm stealing a car, you know, like so it's definitely like and that's the thing like comedy is different whether like internet funny is way different from stand up funny,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
for sure, for sure.
And
Um, yeah, dude, I'm so happy that you're like pursuing stuff like that, dude. I'm so like, if anyone that does that kind of stuff, dude, I'm all for it.
dude,
Like taking a risk or just putting yourself out there, because I feel, I try to put myself in the shoes of like when no one knew who I was,
mm-hmm,
and again, like I was a huge like podcast listener and
mm,
trying to glean insight from people that I looked up to or who have made it, and like, and I try to do this now that I'm somewhat in a position similar to that,
mm-hmm.
like go for it, because
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I wish someone just said to me like, no, just like I think you could do it, right? Don't
yeah,
take the safe way out. Just go for it. I think you can do it. So, dude, I keep doing it, man.
yeah, it's fun. Like it's one of those things where like that's probably the one core thing I like uh, relaying to other creatives is just like was it like what's your craft, like show me what you've been
Yeah.
working on, like like what was your process, how what did you think of it, like you know. So like and like for you like I like the last 4 years or so, like from like 2017 to now, like I got to see like an evolution and like a nice like was like rounding of a YouTube personality, you know, which is
Mhm.
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's definitely the YouTube landscape changes
Yeah.
so much, and like I think it will be interesting just for myself, but not just for myself, but other people to see like of course it gets harder and harder to make it. The market gets more saturated, just months, like not even years. YouTube moves so fast; it's like by months, if not weeks.
Yeah.
So it also going back to like how I say like I watch a lot of podcasts. Some of that info maybe becomes outdated by the time the podcast comes out because
Yeah.
because of how much the platform and tastes change.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm really interested to see how things turn out.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see it. Like, was it's one of those things where you definitely have a good comedic mind and like a lot of different talents. Like some some of the things I see on your Instagram are pretty dope. Like there's a whole anthology of you landing a windmill as a
Right.
b-boy, you know,
Yeah.
and like when you landed it, I was like, that's dope. And then like you also have your graphic design art side that I
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah. I don't really showcase that too much, but yeah, I was really big into art. I think at a point I wanted to be like a some sort of design,
mm,
like something in design. But now I just kind of like use it to help my YouTube channel,
yeah
just whether it's thumbnails or something. But yeah, I think sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought earlier. But like what I
yeah
was saying was, it would be interesting to see like what happens with my channel, just because if you're a creator out there,
yeah
you know, it's easy to listen to PewDiePie and be PewDiePie's like, oh, bro, let's just do it. This is what I did. And they're like, oh my god, like he's so successful. Like if I do what that person did, but with me, I'm like in the process of making it,
yeah
right? And, I know, like I get a lot of views, and some people would kill to have my views,
yeah
but the fact is, I haven't made it,
yeah
right? So I'm in the process of it. So the advice I give, not that it's more valuable, but like listen to the people that I feel like are in my position,
mm,
because it's more realistic. Like someone who made it 7 years ago on some podcast, I don't know if that information is most valuable. It's,
exactly
it's to see who's on the rise now, who's trying to make it now, what are they doing,
mm,
and like so. Um, sorry, trying not to lose my train of thought.
Like,
That being said, so my biggest thing I'm tackling with right now is um, I've kind of tried to make this rebrand happen. We've kind of gone back and forth
mm-hmm.
because of a lot of fears I've had and just like some blowback. So my advice to any creators out there would be, don't be afraid to change. If
Yeah.
you really believe in something, just do it. And if you think like if you're like this and it's like, okay, time to go this direction, you have to do it
Mm-hmm.
because the market is getting more saturated every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And you think of whether it's my philosophy with YouTube or streaming or content is like it's capitalism. It's a free market.
Oh
Why
yeah.
would anyone watch you when they have the entire market to choose from?
Yeah.
And if you're doing something and you think, okay, like it's I need to just this I thought this was a good idea. I don't want to do this. I need to change. You need to do that because there's who knows hundreds of thousands of people trying to make it,
Mm-hmm.
right? What are they doing? If you need to put yourself in that mindset of like, okay, am I doing the same thing these people are doing? And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm afraid to change right now, or if I'm afraid to, switch things up, but that other dude over there decides to, how's it going to pan out for him versus me? Like,
Yeah.
you really need to don't be afraid to just be like, okay, this is what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's even for me, like, you know what, like I've changed it up so much. I'm not afraid to change it up again if
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the right decision to make. If I really believe in it, I don't care how many times because you can't be the person, especially, and it gets even more dangerous if you get a modicum of success, which I think is kind of like what happened to me.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with hanging on to that lethal soul success, even though it didn't really amount to much underneath the views.
Yeah.
Um, I think that held me back because
Mm.
you don't want to be one of those people that um, it's like, oh man, but like think about what you have. Like don't give that up, but that'll keep you from making maybe the change that will take you even further. And
Exa-
that's what I decided in this change. Like people are like, oh, I'm unsubscribing or think of all the reviews and subscribers, but I believe in this change so much that like that other stuff that can't even compare. Like I don't
yeah.
think Lethal could be as big as what I can be as Landonardo, and I'm willing to sacrifice maybe even like if it meant I lost 200,000 subscribers, I
Yeah.
would do it because
Mm.
I think the value of me right like the direction I'm going is worth way more than 200,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to make that sacrifice to reach that point. So that's like I it's hard to sum that up in a video, but like
Yeah.
people ask advice, that's what I would really want to say. It's just like don't be afraid to just switch things up, do what you need to do, really think about it because you can't afford. And maybe I hold into to this too much because this is what I did. I just paid so much attention to like people who already made it, who's giving me advice.
Yeah.
I never once thought like, maybe this guy just doesn't know what he's talking about,
Yeah. Nah.
which applies to me too. So it's always hard. Like, listen and be like, okay, I don't maybe glean a little bit of like good info here and there, but in the end, you just got to really think about yourself and what you want to do and what you really believe in.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, I feel that most content creators, like, cause the weird thing is that like, growing up, like YouTuber wasn't a career decision. Like that was like something that someone just did because like that was their thing. But then now I hear kids and they're like, I want to be a YouTube star, or like they want to make it on YouTube. They want to get the subscribers, they want to get the views, and it's one of those things where yeah, I feel that's where the market gets saturated because like there's people that are growing up to want to be like this thing. Like when I see the NBA, there's a lot of like sons of basketball players that are getting into the NBA because they were trained at like 2 years old to dribble a ball, and like there's gonna be this weird transition of like just a bunch of like weirdos on the internet like talking about things in front of the
Mhm.
camera, and then like there's gonna be polished like what is it YouTube stars from that
Yeah,
like
I mean,
yeah
dude, there are. That's another thing you really have to pay attention to. People start it and they think like, I want to make it, but it's like, why? Do you
mm,
what do you offer to people? Talking about the whole free market type thing. Like, yeah, we're at a point where I'm really big into VTubers.
yeah
I like VTubers a lot.
yeah
You know,
Ex-
I love VTubers. I'm obsessed. They just announced English VTubers. There's like a company called HoloLive that
Yeah.
is like, they're like the cleanest. But talking about what you said, like that's a company. There's so much budget behind it, and there's a lot of amateur VTubers out there. And now again with the market, they were initially, it's only Japanese.
Yeah.
But I feel that they've just introduced this English VTuber backed by that huge company. And
Yeah.
so, I thought to myself, I'm always trying to think of it in terms of market. Like, if I'm an amateur English VTuber, I'd be really scared right now because the market just got a little tougher for me.
Oh yeah.
Um, but that's just like a small example that just passed my head just very recently. But you got to think of that with everything, whether it's, I forget what, it's like Will Smith is like a YouTuber, and like
Yeah.
Jack Black a YouTuber now, and it's like you got to think like why should people watch me? You got to be really brutal with yourself, really
Yeah.
brutal.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where like when it comes down to it, like when it comes to researching and like seeing like what your voice is, because like the thing that I say is that like if you're gonna be a creative, create the things you want to see, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, create the, like if what is it, create the things you want to see, because you have a, like the aging Hollywood trying to latch on to like their last increments of fame, but like
Yeah.
it's name brands that people that are household names that like people will pay to see, right? Then you have like this new wave of kids that are like, okay, like I have my dad buy this like Canon R6, like I'm ready to go, and
Mhm.
then you have like what is it, like you have the millennials that are getting older, and like they're like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing YouTube, like what I'm doing right now,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's definitely one of those things where you start seeing this dynamic of like how these generations like start clashing, but
Hmm.
at the same time it creates this ecosystem that is YouTube, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, it's so funny. A lot of my friends I'm seeing are like streaming now, they're making YouTube videos. I'm
Yeah.
like, can't help but remember when you were kind of making fun of me when I was trying to be a YouTuber, you know, just comes full circle, huh?
Yeah,
All
for
right.
real. No, like, oh shit, no, I remember when was it me and my boys like back in 2013, like we were shit talking my homie because he quit his job at Best Buy to like to stream, and I'm like,
Mm.
no one's gonna fucking want to watch you play League of Legends. And then li- little did I know, fucking homie just like was it gets like $10,000 from a dude from Germany. Didn't get
Crazy.
didn't get back charged, and he's all like, "Hey, I just paid off like my college semester." I'm like, "Well, fuck me,"
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. So
Um,
yeah, it's crazy.
but on the same note, I think, just power to you if you're trying to try it out, man.
Yeah, most
Try it out.
definitely. Like,
It's,
it,
I will say I do feel kind of like, in movies tropes where like someone mentions a name and then in the corner of the saloon an old cowboy's like, I haven't heard that name in years.
yeah,
I've been doing YouTube for a while,
yeah,
and I've come across like my own success and views and stuff. But like I said earlier, I haven't really made it, and it's a tough grind. And
yeah,
honestly, like we can focus on content and like how creative you are, which is very important. But 90% of the people just aren't going to be able to tough it out, to be
yeah.
honest. And if you can just keep toughing it out, you're going to be ahead of a lot of people,
Most
to be
definitely.
honest.
Like, and I feel like that's consistent with any creative field. Like stamina, you need stamina. Like you gotta have the grit. You gotta like have people say you suck for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like, what is it? When you start like harnessing your style, because
Mhm,
that's how I feel with podcasting right now. Like with interviewing, is that like
mhm.
I'm trying to be more concise, get rid of my filler words, and like not cringe as much on the editing floor.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh, I know that feel. I'm like, I need to shut up. What am I doing? This is awful.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah. No, it's like one of my buddies. He said that you sound like a '90s anime dub, and I'm like, yeah, thanks, buddy. that doesn't make me more self-conscious. Shit. He's like, you should be cool, borrow dog, and I'm like, dude, not
Love that
helping my
show.
self-conscious, not helping my self-confidence at all right now.
Yeah.
but but other than that, like, yeah, no, it's finding your own voice, stamina, and just like and sticking through it, and like it's it's definitely a joy seeing like you evolve and going through this journey, and like,
I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in.
yeah, man, like if anything, like what is it? I'll do it like I'll do a handful of questions and then like we'll start winding this
Okay.
down. But like, if anything, like, if what would be your dream project as a creative?
Oh, wow. I would love to, because there's a lot of people that are like that have asked me, "Oh, do you want to be an actor or like blah blah?" I'd love to direct something.
Oh, really?
Direct something, because and that goes back to how like I'm very few times am I like the main focus on like my videos.
Yeah.
It's like Kane is the main because I'm more involved like behind the scenes, like, oh, do it like this, da da da. So I don't really know what exactly it'd be, but I know for sure like my dream thing would be to like direct some kind of big project for sure. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be comedy, you
Mm.
know. I've never really done anything that's like action or not comedy really, but I'd love to direct a big project for sure.
Oh,
If I had the opportunity to.
yeah. Oh, that'd be dope. Ah, shoot.
Mm.
And then like I feel that we've been going off of like different advice that like other creatives should like would take, like just getting into the field, like especially YouTube and whatnot. But it's what what are some things that like when it comes to your field that when you got into it you didn't like, problems that you didn't expect to happen, and then like how did you get through them?
Problems. I think the fact that, I mean, the biggest thing is the fact that people will latch on to something. First of all, how hard it is to get them to latch onto something. And then once they do, they just like won't let it go. Like I
Yeah.
talked about when I changed stuff,
Yeah.
like really early on, this is like, I didn't even have 10,000 subscribers, but I was like changing it up. I was so shocked that people were like, I can't believe, they were just so against it.
Yeah.
So, um, and of course, going forward, that is reflected in the problems I'm facing with like a rebrand.
Yeah.
So, definitely, I think if you're trying to get into YouTube, keep keep that in mind. It's like a pro and a con. Like, it's what can you ask yourself, like, what can they latch onto, and that will help me succeed?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I'll be known for? On the flip side, like, be careful because that's what they will latch onto.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think like so in your YouTube career you've worked with Deepity consistently. You've worked with Aki and the Anime Man. Like,
yeah.
what would be like a dream collab for you?
I mean, I kind of already did it. Like,
Really?
when Aki and Joey said like,
Oh,
what do you want to do? It's like, bro, I'd love to just make an anime parody with you guys, and we did like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure one,
yeah.
with D Pity too. It's just funny putting. Do you ever watch like what this before we changed what I kind of imagined Lethal Soul to be? It was like, you ever watch this Japanese game show called Gaki no Tsukai?
No. Like, is it the like ridiculous one where like they?
Well, it doesn't matter if you haven't seen this one,
Yeah.
but like you think of like a game show or like these late night host shows. It's like they bring on these celebrities and they kind of like throw them into like these wacky situations. Like, it's
Okay.
funny that this. So it's just really funny to me that like these, Joey and Aki. Not that they're serious channels, like they're fun channels.
Yeah.
They're lighthearted. But I'm just like, it's so funny that I get to throw them into this really stupid scenario with my stupid idea and stuff. So it's just funny to see that. Same thing with D Pity. I get to be like, oh, I've like seen his videos.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him do this stupid thing,
Hmm.
and I got to. So I kind of already have done that. So if I got the opportunity again, I'd like to just, again, like my content has changed,
Yeah.
but I love making skits.
Yeah.
So if you ask me like, if I had the time and resources, and it would be an efficient, use of my time,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'd make a skit. 100% of the time, I'd make a skit. So if I
Ah.
got, I made a lot of videos with Joey and Aki, but Aki moved to Japan. That's
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so, but if I ever got the opportunity again, yeah, we just make another skit.
That'd be dope.
Probably.
Shoot. Hell, probably like travel to Japan. Get on that Trash Size
Oh God.
podcast. Fucking like do a skit with the boys.
Yeah, it's collabs. That's why, like, honestly, probably one of the luckiest things for me was that I met T Pity,
Yeah.
because collabs for a skit channel, it's kind of hard when the other person is not a skit channel.
Yeah.
It's like, what do we? Because like, again, like D Pity is like the dream per YouTuber for me to like meet, right? Because he does, honestly, like his content's very different, but it's along the same beat, kind of like this parody slapstick humor.
Yeah.
But you know, I met Joey and Aki, and we did make a lot of funny videos together. But sometimes we were like, what can we do? Because they do a lot more commentary type stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's not really content I make. So it's kind of it's kind of like kind of weird there. But
Yeah.
I would definitely throw them into a
A skit.
yeah.
That'd be fun. Shoot. Well, man. Hey, Landon, it was a joy talking with you, picking
Thanks
your
for having
brain.
me on.
Oh man,
Mhm.
anytime, man. And I'm still getting used to saying this. Like, comment, subscribe to Remcreate.
There we go. You know, it feels stupid, but I gotta say, you have to.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how that works.
Yeah.
That you have the call to action. You got it.
Exactly. And it's like one of those things from like it's a meme to me, but now that I'm like actually making content, I'm like, fuck, I have to say it. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I have links to Landon's page and all that. All three of my viewers.
I see. You gotta start somewhere.
Exactly.
With less than that, probably.
Yeah. But other than that, no, it was just awesome having you, man.
Oh, appreciate it. It was good to be on. Good to talk.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Have a good night, and